प्राचीन समय से एक प्रथा चली आ रही है। बैंक का काम है तो बैंक के पास आना पड़ेगा। ऐसा क्यों? एयू बैंक की 0101 ऐप, सिर्फ एक वीडियो कॉल।
Mr. Bhaskar Karkera, Executive Vice President AU Small Finance Bank, our title partner for the event, to please come forward for his keynote address. Mr. Bhaskar Karkera has been associated with AU since 2003 when he handled business of AU Finances as channel partner. A seasoned professional with about 3 decades of expertise in wheel segment, today he is steering one of the largest team of AU with 5,000 plus energetic AUTs. May I request him to please come on the stage for his keynotes. जोरदार तालियां हो जाए श्री भास्कर करकेरा जी के लिए.
Good afternoon, Rajasthan, and to all the dealer partners. Many of them were still out. I would love if many of them could come back. But on behalf of, I have to share कि आप सभी लोग जो हमारे चैनल पार्टनर्स हैं, आप सब जानते ही हो कि हमारे लिए राजस्थान थोड़ा खास है. And that is because this also happens to be our जन्मभूमि. राजस्थान का AU बैंक का शुरुआत ही राजस्थान से हुआ है. So this is actually for us, our जन्मभूमि, and as they say in Rajasthan, पधारो मारो देश. It's my pleasure to take you through what we as a bank have done over the last 20 years in the state of Rajasthan. We have been associated here for a very long time, and we just thought that we'll just take you through what has been our journey as a bank that we are now working in. Yes, this is the story that we have. It's a small story of a small finance bank, but just to give you a flavor कि कहाँ थे हम 1996 we started with a small fund that we received from the HNIs. Then in 2003 हमारी एक HDFC बैंक के साथ पार्टनरशिप हुई. बहुत सारे लोग जानते ही है कि ये पार्टनरशिप रिटेल एसेट्स के लिए हुई थी. And from there on हमने we went on to, in 2008 we went to Motilal Oswal, we raised some funds, और वहाँ से ये जो पूरी एक छोटी NBFC की शुरुआत हुई. In the true sense, a small NBFC got formed, and that small NBFC then, in the last of March of 2017, हम लोग बैंक बने. As you all know, it is called as a small finance bank. We are in the category of small finance bank. So we have just day before yesterday, we have completed 5 years as a small finance bank. And obviously, as we became a bank, while becoming a bank, we also did a LAP, which we call SBL. We did home loans, and all of that is now a part of our business as we do what we do. This is the good story of where we were in March 2017, where we are as of March 22. You would see that हम सिर्फ 10 स्टेट में थे. अभी वर्चुअली ऑल इंडिया आ चुके हैं in terms of our liability franchising. हमारे पास 301 टच पॉइंट था, 900 क्रॉस कर चुका है. हमारे पास मार्च 2017 में 5 लाख कस्टमर थे, आज वो 25 लाख हो चुके हैं. हमारे पास 8,500 लोग थे. We are now upwards of 27,000 in terms of employee. वहाँ दुकान मकान ये हमारी पहचान होती थी. हम generally we used to do home loans, vehicle loans, shop loans, we call it वाहन दुकान मकान. From 3 products to 30 products is how the bank today in 5 years time is what it has crossed the barrier in terms of what we are doing, the product range that we have now built. We call this the Robin Hood model. हमारे बैंक में ये भाषा ये है कि पैसे लेते उनसे है जिसके पास है और देते उसको है जिसको जरूरत है. This is truly a Robin Hood model because close to 75% of our liability comes from the cities, and where we deploy the money for our assets, close to 75% is in rural. So this is the classic model of take from where it is available and give where it is needed. And this is a model which we have perfected over the last 20 years. We just continue to doing this. ये बैंक को और strong करता है. A small finance bank has the following guidelines. You have to have 25% of branches in unbanked, 50% in loans less than 25 lakhs, and 75% priority sector. For all the conditions that were put on the small finance bank, we are fortunate that we have all surpassed all of them in terms of what we need to do. That's because by design, this is not really by default, this is by design that हम लोग जो पैसा देते हैं वहाँ देते हैं जहाँ इसकी जरूरत होती है. And that's something which we have built over a period of time to a very fairly large extent, successfully handled this. Many of you would know that we have completed 5 years, so we can also apply for the universal bank license as we become eligible for doing that. This is what we had committed at the beginning of becoming a bank, that this is what we will do. I mean, it is my pleasure to inform that on all the things that we have committed, AU as a bank has actually surpassed all of that as we speak. There are all some parameters which we had given an indication on. Now, this is an interesting slide. If you can see where we were on March 2017 in terms of our net worth, in terms of our deposits. March 2017 में हमारा deposit zero था बैंक का. Happy to share that as we close March, we are upwards of 52,000 crores in terms of pure just liabilities, with just deposits and liabilities. We are upwards of 50,000 crores on retail assets. So if you add both of them, in 5 years' time, we are now a 1 lakh crore bank between retail assets and retail liabilities put together. And it's been a fascinating journey because a small name from Rajasthan going out to reach out to customers and take FD from them. In the banking parlance, they say that, generating liabilities is the toughest job. And it takes a lot of time for people to trust you with their money, right? But we have been able to, as a bank, we have been able to get people to have that faith in us. And the results are on this, in front of you in the slide. A good 53,000 crore of liability, retailized, very granular, not much of bulk deposits is what we have been able to garner here. This is now what we look like going forward. We are now half the country, and we now go into the entire country. In terms of, we are now close to 919 touch points. We are now in the 15 states, 2 union territories. An interesting data point is for Rajasthan, 33 districts, but close to 375 touch points. But virtually for every district, we have more than 10 touch points, which shows the kind of granularity कि अपना मतलब ये एक common line बोलते रहता हूँ मैं सभी को कि शायद राजस्थान में ऐसा कोई जगह ही नहीं हो जहाँ AU का footsteps ना हो. मतलब in terms of a boy would have reached every corner of Rajasthan, and we have built everything that we know from here. So this is one state where we continuously believe that. Thank you to all you partners for having supported us in our formative years. We have a deep distribution, 40%, as I mentioned, of the bank touch points are based in Rajasthan. The banking journey has always been a very exciting one, but what we have done different, which I think that one should take a lot of pride that how somebody from born and brought up in Rajasthan we have been able to do that, is that in our bank we have actually challenged status quo. And when I say that, no payslip, we pay monthly interest. Most people don't. No bank used to do that. We paid monthly interest from the day one. We do not have a payslip in our bank, and we have no home branch concept. For us, a customer is of the bank and not of the branch. So we have actually challenged status quo in terms of how the banking happens in the country. And that actually has given us great amount of result, traction, respect on the street in terms of what we do. If that was about the bank, let me come to what matters to all of us in the room. गाड़ी में क्या करते हैं वो बताओ, बैंक तो जो कर रहा है वो कर ही रहा है. So this is how we look, this is how we were just about 15 years back. Virtually, the partnership with HDFC Bank is when we started building the book. We are, as we end in December of 21, which is 3 months back, we are close to about 15,500 crores. Our board results are going on today, and hence Sanjay and Uttam could not come and address here. Otherwise, they would have definitely come and been a part of here. So as we end the year, this will be upwards of close to about 2,000 crores more. So close to about 15,000, 17,000 crore is what purely the wheels asset books look like. Now this is what happens. What happens when you move from an NBFC to a bank? This is a very interesting transformation that happened. We got into understanding customer. We got into understanding them in terms of their own need. We became a primary consideration in the customer's mind. पहले एक secondary role play करते थे. Now we are in the primary set of condition in his mind. And more importantly, we have been able to offer products that matter to him in the way that he needs. So that has been our transformation, a very strong transformation from an NBFC to a bank. अब ये सब भाषण देके फायदा क्या है डीलर के लिए? If that is the question to be asked, the relevance to the dealer fraternity, which I personally believe that what we offer to the dealer is that all the profile that we mentioned here. We are good for new and used. We are good for agri, non-agri. We are good for civil, non-civil. We are good for salaried or self-employed. We understand rural and city. More importantly, we love doing NTC. We are more comfortable doing -1 than a civil score. And that comes because after so many years of having worked in this arena, we are much, we understand the customer buys habits and his profile and lesser to do with the score. So एक common line है हमारे इसमें कि credit आंख से करो, paper तो बाद में बता ही देगा वो. So this is what is this entire set of things is what matters to each one of you. Deep penetration. We have an entire product suite. 2 से 22 जितने चक्के उतना काम करते हैं. मतलब थोड़ा 22 के चक्के कम करते हैं तो शार्विक बोलेगा तो इसका फायदा थोड़ा कम है. हाँ, एमएनएससी भी थोड़ा कम करते हैं, but otherwise from 2 to 22, that is what we make a difference in terms of the value proposition to the dealer. आप जो बेचते हो, broadly, आप जो बेचते हो, हम फंड करने की क्षमता रखते हैं. That is what is important to you, and that's what matters to you, I guess. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Once again, retailized, small granular size, rural urban divide. We do new, used, tractor, two-wheeler, within passenger, commercial. So what I'm trying to say is, जो भी आप बेचते होंगे ना, broadly, we do cover the entire product suite that we have from the bank side. This is how our books have grown. आपने देखा है इसमें two-wheeler भी है, tractor भी है, used भी है, new भी है. We do a good amount of used business, close to upwards of about 600 crores a month. And this is how the book has grown. If you look at it from the 5 years, we were at about 5,000 crores. Now at about 15,000 plus crores, and divided between all the product lines as well. जो बड़ा है वो राजस्थान है, बाकी सब छोटे हैं. So this is to show that both in terms of geography, in terms of book, in terms of constitution itself, we still are by heart and by design more Rajasthan, and we continue to hold the state in terms of our entire planning. This continues to remain a very important pillar for us, for our business as well, as a bank and even as the wheels business itself. This is how we have got our business sourcing for in the last. Don't look at the graph a little because that's actually a COVID time. Otherwise, this would have been on an increase had the 3 months on both sides of the year not taken away the mojo out of us. This is how the book have grown, and if you see, we are upwards of 5,000 crores. We have touched 5,000 crores in a state of Rajasthan itself. In the wheels business, we are today upwards of 5,000 crores, and look at the number of customers. Upwards of 2,50,000 customers को हमने गाड़ी दी है. घर जो दिया है वो अलग है, और जो दुकान में काम किया है, मैंने कहा आपसे वहाँ दुकान मकान 3 काम करते हैं. Purely out of wheels itself, we have given close to above 2,30,000 customers we have been able to touch in our workflow with them. While we will do what we will do, digital is a word everybody does. What I think, what will matter to all the dealers जो आप यहाँ बैठे हो, कि हर महीने 1 लाख कस्टमर ऐड करते हैं. हर महीने we now add in the bank 1 lakh customer. 1 lakh customer of a bank generally will be eligible for a vehicle 2 to 22. It just depends at what stage do we engage, at what stage does he become a pre-approved offer, at what age he becomes a pre-qualified offer. It's a matter of time how we get associated with them. But a lack of customer, we now have credit cards, we have QR codes, we have liability accounts opening, FD customers. So the entire set, जो अगर आप देखो 5 साल पहले अगर हम मात्र डीलर से व्हीकल के बिजनेस के लिए ही रेलेवेंट थे, अब बैंक में 1 लाख कस्टमर हर महीने ऐड हो रहा है, which I personally believe is the strongest value proposition that we can offer to all the dealer fraternity who have come here all the way, and we want to partner with you all because ये जन्मभूमि भी यही है और कर्मभूमि भी यही है. So we will continue to love doing what we do with each one of you, and obviously what we will do is to make it happen faster through digital. That's just a workflow getting better. In summary, this will banking on the bank. I personally believe that अपने देश में बैंक को बहुत इज्जत मिलती है, and the first 5 years have been probably one of the most testing time, most difficult years. You had all the things that you could have had, GST, PMC crisis, then you had COVID 1, COVID 2. After having handled all of that, we showed you what we have done, and we continue to believe that the bank will continue to have a strong value proposition for the wheels customer. We continue to be winning combination of वाहन दुकान मकान. ये जन्मभूमि है, यही हमारा कर्मभूमि है. We'll continue to remain engaged with this state forever and ever, and we love doing this state because it is also one of our least delinquent state in our books as well. So we continue to have a lot of value of working in the state. Big headroom. We are yet in Mahindra Maruti. There is a way to go. Tractor is something which we started. That's about 3 years back. Two-wheeler is something that we started 2 years back. So we have great headroom to go in the wheels business. Tested business model. अगर आज 20,000 करोड़ आ जाए तो कल लगाने का तरीका है, बिकॉज दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ मॉडल दैट वी हैव गॉट टेस्टेड already in place. We don't have to create anything. All of it in place in terms of senior leadership, processes, sales, credit, collection, everything in place. So we personally believe that the best of India will be in this decade, and we as a bank are well poised to take full control or full benefit, I would believe, of all the product lines that the country is looking to grow for. I would and want to end with just one comment that एक होता है कि you do work because it's your part of your job. Rajasthan for us is special because in 2003 when I used to work with HDFC Bank, I was the RO who had signed up the partnership, channel partnership with Sanjay and Uttam at that point of time, and they were at that point of time just a DSA for new and used for new cars and personal loan, and from there 20 years hence a small finance bank in front of you to help serve the citizens of Rajasthan in a much better way, in a much more fulfilling way, and especially to all the dealers, 2 से 22 ये याद रखना, बाकी आपका काम तो हो ही जाएगा. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.